Vanka. 9-year-old Vanka, who had been apprenticed 3 months ago to Alyukin, is writing a letter to his grandfather Konstantin Makarich on a Christmas Eve. I am writing this letter to you. I sent you my Christmas greetings. Vanka has no father, no mummy, but only his grandfather. In his imagination, he sees his grandfather, who was a night watchman on the estate of some gentle folk called Shivaray. In the night, he walked round and round, sounding his rattle. After him, with drooping heads, went old Kashtanka, another dog called Eel.
Students, in the last class, we discussed up till this. Let's see the rest of the story. Granddad was probably standing at the gate at this moment, screwing up his eyes to look at the bright red light coming from the church windows, or stumping about in his felt boots, fooling with the servants. His rattle would be fastened to his belt. He would be throwing out his arms and hugging himself against the cold door with his old man's titter, pinching a maid or one of the cooks. "Have a nip," he would say, holding out his snuff box to the women. The women would take a pinch and sneeze. Grandfather would be overcome with delight, breaking out into jolly laughter and shouting, "Good for frozen noses." Grandad was perhaps standing at the gate, looking at the bright red light coming from the church windows, or chatting with the servants. His rattle would be tied to his belt. He would be laughing and pinching a maid or one of the cooks. He would show his snuff box and ask the women to take a nip. The women would take some snuff and put into their nostrils. They would sneeze. Grandad would be shouting and laughing with joy, saying, "Good for frozen noses." Now we move to the 5th paragraph. Even the dogs would be given snuff. Kashtanka would sneeze, shake her head, and walk away, offended. But Eel, too polite to sneeze, would wag his tail, and the weather was glorious, the air still, transparent, and fresh. It was a dark night, but the whole village with its white roofs, the smoke rising from the chimneys, the trees silver with rime, the snowdrifts could be seen distinctly. The sky was sprinkled with gaily twinkling stars, and the Milky Way stood out as clearly as if newly scrubbed for the holiday and polished with snow. Let's see the meaning of difficult words. Rime means frost, gaily means brightly. Even the dogs were given snuff. Kashtanka would sneeze, shake her head, and walk away feeling angry. But Eel very politely would wag his tail. The weather was good, the air was still and fresh. It was a dark night, but the whole village could be seen clearly because the houses had white roofs, smoke rose from the chimneys, trees were covered with frost, snow was falling, the sky was filled with twinkling stars, the Milky Way was shining as if polished with snow. Next paragraph. Vanka sighed, dipped his pen in the ink, and went on writing. "And yesterday I had such a hiding. The master took me by the hair and dragged me out into the yard and beat me with the stirrup strap because by mistake I went to sleep while rocking their baby. And one day last week the mistress told me to gut a herring, and I began from the tail, and she picked up the herring and rubbed my face with the head. The other apprentices make fun of me. They send me to the tavern for vodka and make me steal the master's cucumbers, and the master beats me with the first thing he finds. And there is nothing to eat. They gave me bread in the morning and gruel for dinner, and in the evening bread again. But I never get tea or cabbage soup. They gobble it all up themselves. And they make me sleep in the passage, and when their baby cries, I don't get any sleep at all. I have to rock it. Dear Grandad, for the dear Lord's sake, take me away from here. Take me home to the village. I can't bear it any longer. Oh, Grandad, I beg and implore you, and I'll always pray for you. Do take me away from here or I'll die. Let's see the difficult words and its meanings. Hiding means beating. Gut means clean of fish. Herring, a kind of fish. Tavern means inn. Vodka is a strong alcoholic drink. Gruel means boiled oats. Gobble means eat greedily, implore, request. Vanka continued his letter that the previous day he got a lot of beating. The master took him by the hair and dragged him into the yard. He beat him badly with the stirrup strap, which means the belt used to connect the footrest of the rider to the saddle. He had gone to sleep while rocking his baby. One day last week, the mistress told Vanka to clean a herring. He began from the tail. She took it and rubbed its head on his face. Other apprentices made fun of him. They sent him to buy vodka and made him steal the master's cucumbers. He didn't get enough to eat. They gave bread in the morning, gruel for dinner, and again bread for supper. He never get tea or cabbage soup. They take it all themselves. They made him sleep in the passage. When their baby cries, he didn't get any sleep at all. He had to rock it. So he requested his granddad, for the Lord's sake, took him from that place, take him home to the village. He couldn't suffer it any longer. Always pray for him. Vanga begged his granddad to take him away or he will die. Next paragraph. Vanka's lips twitched. He rubbed his eyes with a black fist and gave a sob. I will grind your snuff for you, he went on. I will pray for you. You can flog me as hard as you like if I am naughty. And if you think there is nothing for me to do, I will ask the steward to take pity on me and let me clean the boots, or I will go as a shepherd boy instead of Fedia. Dear granddad, I can't stand it. It is killing me. I thought I would run away on foot to the village, but I have no boots and I am afraid of the frost. And when I grow up to be a man, I will look after you and I will not let anyone hurt you. And when you die, I'll pray for your soul like I do for my mummy. Twist means shivered. Sob means cry. Flog, beat. Vanka's lips trembled. He rubbed his eyes. He sobbed. Vanka continued that he would grind snuff for him, pray for him. He would beat him as hard as he liked if he did mischief. If he think he has nothing to do, he will clean the boots or go as a shepherd instead of Fedia. He wanted to run away to the village, but he had no boots and he was afraid of the frost. When he grew up to be a man, he will look after the grandfather and he will not let anyone hurt him. When he die, he will pray for his soul like him do for his mummy. Next paragraph. Moscow is such a big town. There are so many gentlemen's houses and such a lot of horses and no sheep, and the dogs are not a bit fierce. The boys in the town don't roam the streets with stars, and they don't allow one to sing in church at Christmas. They were also seen selling fishing hooks that could even hold a sheatfish weighing 30 pounds. There are shops that have all sorts of guns just like the ones the master has at home. They must cost 100 rubles each. In the butcher's shops, they sell grouse, woodcock, and hares about which they don't say where they were shot. Moscow is such a big town. There are many gentlemen's houses and many horses there. There are no sheep. The dogs there are not at all fierce. The boys go about with a star at Christmas. They don't let you sing in church. Once he saw them selling fishing hooks of different sizes. He saw one hook that could hold a sheatfish weighing 30 pounds. He had seen shops selling guns like the one his master had. The guns might cost 100 rubles each. In the butcher's shop, we can buy grouse, woodcock, and hares. The shopkeepers don't say how they got them. Students, that's all for today. We'll meet in the next class. Thank you.